Hello, it's me again. So, recently I got to see 10 Cloverfield Lane, starring Mary Elizabeth Winstead and John Goodman. And here's the thing 10 Cloverfield Lane has absolutely nothing to do with the original Cloverfield. And to be honest, that is a good thing. The first Cloverfield I felt was an absolute mess. It had an interesting premise, but the characters were idiots, the shaky camera made me nauseous, and the whole kaiju monster film genre had been done a million times before. This Cloverfield movie is not a monster movie in the slightest. If anything, it's a dark thriller that happens to make the most out of three people and their excellent performances. But let's get to the story. The story is about a young woman named Michelle, played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who, after running away from her boyfriend, Ben, she happens to get involved in a car accident in the state of Louisiana. When she wakes up, she finds out that she's in an underground bunker that's being managed by this huge hulk of a man named Howard, played by John Goodman. Mr. Howard believes that the air outside is contaminated due to a supposed chemical weapon. So he has Michelle and one more survivor named Emmett, played by, I forgot his name. Yeah, you'll probably be able to tell who it is. Anyways, Michelle and Emmett have to stay with Howard in this bomb shelter, but they don't trust him, and they eventually try to find a way out. But that's all I can say about the plot. The story is actually really interesting, considering that the reason I was so vague about the plot is because, much like a lot of great thrillers, the best part about the story is what you learn about it throughout. So the secrecy of the advertising is actually very well deserved. There are several plot twists and turns that really make the film very intense, and its deliberate pace manages to engross me, and it engrossed all the people in the audience. The performances are absolutely spectacular. Mary Elizabeth Winstead, unlike a lot of horror movie ladies, is not a complete idiot. In fact, her resourcefulness and her cleverness is what really makes her an endearing character. And even though she's the one girl in a bomb shelter with two men, romantic relationships are not at all a factor here, which is actually really rare when it comes to films of this type. She does form a friendship with Emmett, but that's more out of them being friends in order to survive this bomb shelter situation, considering that John Goodman's character, though he appears very kind and very hospitable, has this sense of creepiness about him. John Goodman's character Howard is also a very standout character. He ends up being very creepy when it comes to his scenes, as Goodman plays him as a guy that's pretty hospitable at first, but if you pull one of his triggers or push one of his berserk buttons, he comes across as insanely psychotic. And you don't know if this guy is just a crazy man who made up the whole chemical weapons story, or if he's actually a man who's legitimately trying to help him out, and the two just think he's paranoid. That is until the end, which I will not spoil, but let me just tell you that the ending itself is sorta kinda far-fetched if you expect this to be a realistic movie, but then again, it is in the Cloverfield universe, so it has, I guess, some sort of connection with the other Cloverfield films, though only in name and only in a few minor plot details. And even talking about those details would be spoilers for both this film and the first film. But if you've never seen the original Cloverfield before, and if you're just expecting a good thriller, then you'll enjoy it. Anyways, the set of this film, even though the film's very small in scale, that means the attention to detail to all the locations is very much improved from the first film. The sets, especially in the bunker, are actually pretty warm and feel like a safe space. As you've seen in the trailers, the bomb shelter has a ton of board games, movies, a jukebox that plays some pretty whimsical songs that relieve the tension, and not to mention, it's also got its dark elements in the shelter as well, especially with an air filtering room where one of the most interesting plot twists takes place. The only other survivor, like I said before, other than Michelle and Howard, is Emmett. And Emmett, even though he comes across as more of a supporting player and doesn't stand out as much as either Howard or Michelle, he is a fun character to watch, as he's just sort of a average Joe good guy caught in a bad situation. So, I know this review's vague and I'm being short about it, but it's a thriller that you have to see to believe. With excellent performances, great set design, and a rather surprising directorial debut from the man who directed this film, I'd say this is one thriller film where you don't even need to see the original to enjoy it. I give 10 Cloverfield Lane a 9 out of 10. See you guys later. Oh, by the way, my next review will be for Batman vs. Superman. It'll be controversial, but don't kill me for my opinion. By the way, I will review Captain America Civil War as well. So, like I said, 9 out of 10, watch it, and you'll love it.